Hello, everybody. Welcome to our quarterly meeting. It's always so nice to see everybody. Uh, okay, this is good. Now, welcome everybody again. It's just wonderful to see you and to get connected. Um, and I usually we do practice first and then we talk. Uh, but sometimes we talk and then we practice. But this time I'm going to practice first and then we will sit down and talk. And then we're going to start with practicing Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention in part two, and then 73. And after that, then we'll have requests. And and then we do that for 1 hour. Now, one of the reasons I'm going to practice first is because Evan, our CEO for Tai Chi for Health Institute, is taking his son to soccer. So he wants to join us, of course. And I just want to tell you, in case you don't know, that Evan became the CEO of the Institute and he brought, well, he's younger than me anyway. He's brought in new energy and uh, spirit to the Institute. And in case you haven't met Evan yet, I'm going to say something about him. This is typically talking behind his back, but but this will be recorded, so you know I say good things about him. Um, we're really fortunate to have somebody like Evan who's so bright. Um, a master degree from Yale to actually really interested in what we're doing and be full-time working for the Institute. So he is amazing. And I think the great thing about Evan is that he really care about people and he get along really well with everybody. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that he's interested because, for years, my daughter learned Tai Chi, but she's too busy. Um, and she's still too busy. She's really busy since at home. Oh, by the way, if you guys can get television from Australian ABC, our Australian Broadcasting Commission, it's a free online television called iView. If you can get onto that next weekend, Australian time, May the 4th, next Sunday, Australian time, 7:30 p.m., Andrea will be in a national television, a six series thing that is called Piano. And she would, it's a long story, but I can send you a link afterwards. You can find some introduction. But she and some of you might have heard of a guy called um, Harry Conniff Jr. Has anybody heard of such name? Anyway,
Yes, yes. Yes,
he's
Paul.
supposed to be famous, but I
He's
only got
very
to know
famous. Yes, very
but
famous.
I only got to know his name since he and Andrea was the judge for this this piano thing. It's 6 episodes. It's really interesting. But I send you the link, and if you can watch it, it's quite interesting. I watched the final in person. There's a 6 series, and we were invited, or only a group of people invited to go to watch that. Anyway, so I get distracted. So Andrea is so she does like Tai Chi and she does like my vision, but she can't help me. But she's very wisely chose a husband who eventually got interested in Tai Chi. When Andrea was in Yale, she did meet Evan and they become friends and then they get married. And so Evan's my son-in-law. Um, and Tai Chi don't always pass through family. So I'm really proud and happy to have both of them. And as well as that, my son Matthew gave up his other job. He's a graphic designer and he's formally joined me since last week. So we have two boys working with one for Tai Chi production, one for the institute. So I finally get through to them. I didn't convince them; they just wanted to join us. So I hope you enjoy working with them. They're both really nice people. Um, so that's talking behind Evan's back, and my son Matthew. It's amazing. He have an amazing journey in his life. He tried really hard to overcome, and gone through university, got a job. He'd been working for about 20 years, and so about time he joined us and do the our thing with us. Um, so let's start with the practice first, and then we'll come back to talk. Evan will be here to join us. Then, um, okay, everyone, we're going to start with the warm up first. Walk around, smiling to everybody. I really like my studio. I don't have a lunch room. This is my lunch room. And this is where I'm entertaining with my friends. Breathing in, gently push your chin back. Always a good idea to incorporate Tai Chi principle into the warm up. When to do mirror image to you, use your dantian to turn. Now just one thing, if I sort of need to go away quickly, that's because I also keep an eye on Hazel. Uh, and if that happens, can Becky take over? Okay. Oh, Ernie's there. Hi,
Yeah,
Ernie.
yeah. Becky and I are watching for you, Dr. Lamb.
Yeah, she's been doing well. She should be fine, and she knows we're doing this, but she's
Let her know
sleeping
we
now.
all think and love her. Think of her.
I will. I will. And pressing, breathing out. Check your pelvic floor muscles. Spine and contract the pelvic floor muscle, activate deep stem rises. Send down TL to take this energy ball, normal return, and twist it back. to really put no weight on it, just gently turn. When to start with IT for arthritis, fall prevention, part 1 and 2, and I'm going to turn my back. So, um, arthritis in part 2. Next. I would like you to also keep in mind when you does your practice, um, just have a little bit of mindfulness of your tempo, your speed. Are you mindful of what you're doing? Are you concentrating too much, or has your mind wandered? And if you find yourself you just rushing a little bit, then you probably are not feeling the energy as much. And that's that's totally okay. Our mind wanders, that's normal. What we need to do is every now and then come back to yourself and use the principles to have your movements more mindful without that attention, but with the song. So um, I find it really fascinating, continuing to sort of find myself between the mindfulness and not forgetting what you're doing. Um, it's an interesting mental state, and you can't always get it. So when you are really with the Tai Chi, it's a beautiful feeling. Um, okay, so we're going to do 73, and then we can have some requests if you like. 73, do the same again. I'll be. Take your posture. 73 forms. And then I hope you enjoy that. And hey, do you anyone like to request to do anything?
How about Tai Chi for beginners?
Okay, Tai Chi for beginners.
Yeah.
Everybody. Okay, Tai Chi for beginners. Okay, yeah, that was amazing. I do still feel that there's more opportunity to spread Tai Chi for beginners. Um, I think my YouTube first lesson has reached something like a 13, 14 million people that look at it. But we don't have many Tai Chi for beginners class around, which is a pity. And I also see a lot of people copy my style with doing Tai Chi for beginners. Um, so yeah, uh, maybe eventually something will click. Anyway,
My Tai Chi for beginners classes are, the trainings are a little bit smaller than the Tai Chi for arthritis ones, but people are consistently, they love it. They love it, the people. And they're going out and spreading. A lot of them are Tai Chi for arthritis instructors looking for a little bit a different flavor because they're, they've been doing TCA2, but they want something simple for their participants, but that's a little bit different flavor. So it's really nice.
wonderful. Yes. I think it's a lot to do with how we teach things too, but it's nice. Yeah, Yang style, after all, is the most popular. So I think it goes really well with Sun style. Yeah, it's a nice mixture. And I think everybody know 24 forms. Yeah.
Should we do 24 forms then?
Yeah, we said okay with everybody. Yeah. So let's do the 24 form and uh yeah, let's finish with the 24 form. Um okay. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Let me remove spotlight so I can see everybody, or most of you. Anyway, yeah. Well, that's fun. Practicing Tai Chi, sometimes you get a different appreciation, especially last 2 years. That's last 4 years with the pandemic and all that. There's a lots of challenges externally and internally for my personal life as well, and it made me appreciate it more. Uh, in some way, sometimes I really have to make myself go to practice, and after length of time, uh, it's different, especially after 1 hour, 1.5 hours of my normal practice routine. My outlook is slightly different. I'm able to calm myself and think a little better. And it's yeah, it's it's also, I look at myself like I used to be very impatient. So for me to actually repeat and do the same virtually similar Tai Chi forms and sets for the last 49 years and still find it enticing, interesting, that's quite amazing. And I think to make it work, we really have to be mindful of the principles, um, and be mindful with your body and your mind too, and um, that can then lead us to discover different parts of the mind. Anyway, I for some reason I pick up my own book. Um, it was happening. I was looking at it, so it wasn't meant to just stay here to show you. Um, and I realized it was 10 years since I had written that. It took me 5 years to write it, and about 35 rewrite. And Hazel has been really my main person who encouraged me to finish the project and did a lot of writing for me. It was quite an emotional journey to write about your life. And when I go back and look at it and start seeing, so I'm 77. From what I can remember, ORB when I was 2 or 3. And, you start thinking the world was really bleak to me. There's no future. And we are the worst class of people, we're the poorest people, ignorance. And I grow up until 16, believe that, and sometimes the world can look so depressing and so difficult. But one of my main reasons to write a book is to say that no matter how bad things are, if you work hard and with love, you can almost overcome everything. It's one thing that is also very important, I think mentioned in the books, is having good friends, friendships. Having friends give you support and make you feel, yeah, that's a place for us in this world. And it's so nice that we all share this beautiful arts of Tai Chi, mind, body. And I wrote the book 5 years, but there's things that, kind of went away with their memory. And when it came back, it helped me to see more, to try to focus on what I can do and not worry about something I cannot do. cannot influence, cannot work with, and then focus on not being selfish, but on myself, how I can discipline myself, how I can turn my mind to enjoy life, to look at positively, and to be appreciated, good friends, and the time that I have with everybody, especially with Hazel. So, Leanna, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Yes.
Yes, Lee, go ahead.
I was trying to chime in about Tai Chi for beginners, but I didn't have my sound wasn't working. I just wanted to say that you're making a huge difference by when I started teaching Tai Chi for beginners recently. One of the first things I picked up on and I use in every class now because of what's going on in the world is you said strength, internal strength. That's one way you made a huge difference, and this is being passed on to everyone that I come into contact in all my classes. And then I love how you're teaching in the Tai Chi for beginners, the Qigong moves that are so foundational and the stepping. It really cleared things up for me because I never started at the beginning, really. I had no idea about all those things. So I utilize those in my other classes, not just my Tai Chi for beginners class. I talk about how we've already been through the posture of infinity and the posture of Tai Chi and the posture of open close, and how this is in the Tai Chi for arthritis exercise, the posture of yin and yang, except that you've challenged us with that because we can't just keep going the same direction. We have to change. And then recently I looked at the online lessons and I was so surprised to see that on the online 24 form lessons, you have the Qigong of the up and down, which I've been teaching people, but I teach them as, rise and sink or something else. And then the play the lute. And I was like, they're so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanna. That's beautiful. I love to hear that. And in case I haven't told you before, I first reaching out the world by making the video. The first video was 42 form followed by 24 form. And that's a long story, but it's something I did. I did a lot of research, did a lot of forms, work on it, think about it, putting all my energy thinking. When I'm walking, I think about how to share it most effectively, how to make it clear to people, and then how I need to feel it to share it. So since then, of course, I improved in my technique of talking, especially my pronunciation. When you hear yourself talk, you realize that English accent, and I talk a little clearer. But a lot of technique I changed. But that attitude for every program, I put so much effort, thinking, working, and so nice to hear that it's working and it's helping. And yeah, it was fun to do that and then see the result of it. Evan's here. Hello, Evan. Do you want to say hello?
Well,
Are you still here?
just hi everyone. It's good to see you. And I'm very glad that we're all together. Thanks for making this space for us, Dr. Lam. Um, please, I love the opportunity to answer questions or hear from you about how you're going. We met briefly with the USA MTs a few weeks ago to discuss some new administrative processes, but I'd love to hear lots of voices in this meeting. So yeah, please feel free to share.
Okay, can we start answering Johnny's question first? And by the way,
Oh, sure.
Johnny, I'd like to thank you for taking interest and actually look at it. And I hope all the master trainer, senior trainer, instructors do look at the minute of our institute's meeting, because the institute is for every one of us, and taking interest, asking questions, really help us feel we're doing something that worthwhile, and that's affect everybody. And I remember how great you run the TCA, US TCA, and I hope that one of these days you might contribute your time with the institute. Evan, please. I did forward the question to Evan.
Oh, sure. Well, Johnny was just checking in on the board minutes. Jocelyn worked on those over the last few month or so, and they'll be posted within a few days, getting caught up from October last year. And Johnny's just keeping track also of the reported numbers of the instructors that we report in each of those months. One thing you might know for anyone following those minutes is that we corrected the number of master trainers. Now, after the training, I think we're up to 60 master trainers around the world. But I think the numbers that had been reported previously were incorrect for a few, it could have been for a bit. So we were a bit, some of the retired master trainers were appearing there. Yeah. But Johnny, did you have any other questions to follow up on that?
I look forward to seeing the updated minutes, and thanks for answering my questions. Appreciate you.
Sure. I'm happy to also share with everyone that we're undertaking another improvement project for our developer on the website, CHI website. One of the main things is to switch from our payments platform over to Stripe, so that we are on that sort of industry standard payments platform. We get a lot of issues with eWay, and it's a bit quirky the way it works. So we're going to switch that over to Stripe, which is a big job. And then we're also making some changes to the structure of the membership, which we'll announce as we go through the process. But just wanted to let everyone know that we're continuing to approve. We've been working with the developer. Hopefully the website's been more stable over the last three and a half years. I think it has been a bit more stable after there were some issues early in COVID times. So we're happy with that. But always would love to see any thoughts you have, any feedback you have for how you're going with those processes. Especially the master trainers have to use it the most. You could email me at evan@tchi.
Yes, Evan, I've been talking about you behind your back, but you will hear the recordings that it was not bad things. and, and one of the great things is that you have so much understanding of modern technology, which sometimes I struggle to understand what's happening. And seriously, all I understand is that websites are very complicated business, and website designers are really expensive. And we're so lucky to have Dino and Evan who really understand the technology, working for the institute, trying to get the best out of it. It is finicky, and every now and then I find the newsletter in my spam file, and I don't know what to do with it. I mean, my own newsletter ended in my spam file. It's ridiculous. But anyway, all those technical things, so good to have helps. And yeah, I think the Institute and I feel we're very fortunate to have people like Dino and Evan who are really passionate about what we do and giving their effort to work on it.
I think the other thing I might quickly share, Dr. Lim, is the policy change that we're making about the update window. Would you like me to share? I could tell a bit about that. Yeah, so currently, if you update, you get a new 2-year time period that begins on the day of the update. So people wait until the very end. Even you might wait until the very end of your 2 years, of course, of your certification to update, because you want that full 2 years on the end. Well, Dr. Lam has wanted to change that for many years, but it was told it was a bit complicated. So we decided as part of this development project, we're actually going to change that as well. So we're actually making the window, and this is Dr. Lam's recommendation. We're making that window a full year. So anytime within a year of your expiry date of your certification, you can go attend an update workshop, and you will get 2 more years from the expiry date. So it won't change the date. It won't pull it forward. You won't lose any time. And the goal for that is to allow people to update more flexibly, to not push them to the very end of that 2-year period. And Becky's just asked, is that effective now? It's not currently effective in the system, so the system will still, but we can make a certain amount of manual changes. I mean, obviously we can't do everyone, but if people send us a message and say, look, I've you know, 2 months got taken off because of, we can adjust, you know, we can adjust those. And we typically do when people send messages to service@tchi. But it shouldn't be long before that'll be just universal. It'll be like a month or 2, I think, of development. Yeah.
Becky had another question. Did you see, Evan?
Yeah, oh, I
about
see that now.
finding instructors by zip code?
Zip code. Well, there's currently in the public search, there's the filter by state and then by locality, but zip code and like so our the way that the address database was built originally wasn't like the modern ones where it searches up you know, an address and pops it in there on a Google map. So it's basically just a bunch of text fields. And so on our website, if you go on, you can see, you can filter by state, and then you can see a whole list of the localities of in the drop down box, but it's not officially a zip code based search, but like a location based search.
This is the
Go ahead,
one
Becky.
where you go in and the instructor, it's the one where it drops the pin.
That's
and
right, of course, that's the classes near me, right?
Yeah, the classes,
near,
excuse me,
yeah.
classes, that's what I meant. And because I bring it up at every workshop and every update I do, because I want people using that. But I'm not sure if we had an official document that I can use as a follow-up, or that we all could use a follow-up so we can utilize that more.
Absolutely. Becky, that's great that you're publicizing it. I realize that we built that wonderful feature and it's not used enough. You're right. And I think it's partly due to how you know, manual it is to add individual classes, but it's also people just don't know about it, right? So the classes, you can add a class, you can click ongoing, or what is it called? Class and planning, I think we said a video saying just click class and planning, it'll be there forever. That pin will never be time based. It'll just put a pin based on where, and I can forward that to everyone. There's a little video I made about 2.5 years ago. I feel like it was when I talked in the Guangdong workshop about that. But that said, yeah, I feel like we can keep improving that function, add more classes to it. Yeah. Sorry, did I answer your question? I'm a little distracted myself here, but yeah. Okay.
Well, one of the things I realized is that there's going to be challenge ahead, and it's possible that we having a recession around the world. And I've been working with our people, trying to see where we can be most helpful. And one of the things we're going to do is by reduce the cost of online lessons to our people and allow you to give discounts to your participants, your instructors, to share those coupons. So we're working on that, and we'll let everybody know. The other
Actually,
thing,
Paul, that's been already sent. I think those messages went out to all standard and premier instructors already. So we've already,
okay,
have you all seen those messages? I don't know. I see some shaking and no. I think we need to forward them directly to you because you're probably not tagged in our database as a standard or premier. But we'll send them all to you after this meeting, a list of all the codes. But basically, everyone will get access to share OLL20 is the promo code. And there's a wonderful couple of emails that Dino composed and that went out to all of our instructors. So the idea is that they can then share OLL benefits to anyone in their classes. And then same thing with Premier members, they get a little extra 30% discount to OLL. So that was sent out already. Sorry to interrupt, Paul.
sure. No, we want to know that I think the pandemic really hit us hard and hit everybody hard. And I feel that the best thing we can help is to bring Tai Chi to more people. And if you know someone or yourself that even with the discount, it has been challenging to you, just write to me personally, and I would definitely find ways to get you free access to the OLL. The online lesson is one. It's like my dream come true in a way. When I started the video, when I make the first video, the first person who I was the guy who sell the video, put your stamp and take orders and send it, and it was impossible. So busy as a doctor. So my receptionist and my manager Anna took it on to her, and she worked at home half a day every week to do that bit. And eventually we progressed. And I told my staff right from beginning, my philosophy is if I can sell 100 video and make $100, and alternatively, if I can sell 1,000 video and still make $100, what do you think I do? I will sell 1,000, still making the so that is the philosophy we base. We're not there to make money, we're there to share. But of course, we need some money to keep things going. So with video production, it's really expensive. Postage, handling, all these things are really expensive. Whereas with online lessons, we still have expense, but it's not related to how many people using it so directly as the video. So this is like a dream for me that I can share it with more people and still survive. We need to survive so that we can provide the service and all that. But I want to, that is what I can see we can contribute to build inner strength and physical strength. And then we can see clearer whatever we want to face the world. I don't think that anyone else would ever in the future, even in China, face the kind of deprivation, physical, mental, the kind of lack of freedom that I grew up with. So, and things can change. So hopefully the world will change to be better. No, I retract that. I have such sadness for people in Ukraine. I just feel that it's just so sad. But anyway, any wars, any people who suffer is so sad. Sorry, Lorraine, you have something to say?
In the support of that, we want more people to use our resources and learn Tai Chi or practice Tai Chi. I think I've mentioned this before, and I want to mention it again. At the moment, we have access to the online lessons. We have 12-month access once we purchase it, right? An online package, a SIP or whatever. When we buy online lesson, we have 12 months access to the
Oh,
resources.
that's the preparation package. Yes. Yes.
In all my other training, outside Tai Chi and other fitness and wellness training and conferences, in the last few years, people have tended to give people lifetime access once you purchase the resource. I was wondering, in the spirit of supporting people to continue to use our resources, whether we want to consider lengthening the access period. If I buy a DVD, I'm using a DVD about 10 years ago, continue referring to it. And so the online resources, I would expect I want to be able to continue to refer to it in the same way as a DVD. And I don't know, I don't expect Evan to give the administrative people any more tasks to do, but I just wonder whether we have any anecdotal data that do people come back and purchase a second time and a third time after the 12-month access?
I think the master trainers and the senior trainers might know more than I do. I'm not really looking at that.
Yeah, no.
But
yeah.
I'll let Dr. Lam speak to your point.
I just rested in our mindset whether we want to consider that. I understand I do not expect a response right away. I just thought that point needs raising.
Sure, we will think about it. There is a lot of program of permanent access that I mentioned that to our to Dino, who have a lot with organizing it, and he have a lot of reservation about permanent access with those things. Yeah, but we will keep that in mind and talk about it.
Thank you.
I would like to remind everybody, initially that package was meant to be 3 months, 6 months, then we changed to 6 months because you asked, and we changed to 1 year because you asked. We do everything we could to provide access to the material. On the other hand, we've got to be practical too. Yeah, but we'll keep that in mind. Thanks for mentioning it.
I see
for
Mike's
me as a
hand
senior
up.
trainer, I've been recertifying using the SIPP program, and every time I do that, I have to pay that fee for however long I have access to it, and I just figure it's worth it for what I get from it. It's
Thank
only
you,
every
Lillian.
it's only every 2 years I have to do that for each program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike
Thank
has
you.
his hand raised.
Yeah, look, I'd like to just add to Lorraine's concerns and not actually agree with you for a change, Lorraine. I'm sorry. I think 12 months is a really generous subscription period, because we have to consider that there is a business model involved with preparing all of these programs. And I think a 12-month subscription and access to all of the programs is absolutely a wonderful period. The SIPs, as Paul or Dr. Lam has said, has gone from a 3 months to 6 months to 12 months. And I think if we can get that for all of the other videos that are available to also run a 12-month program instead of that 3-month access, I reckon that's more than generous enough, because again, it's a business model, and we can't ask the Institute or Dr. Paul Lam for that matter to continually dig into his own pocket to continue to subsidise when things should be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. So I'm very much in support of continuing a defined access period, if that's okay. I do have another question about another topic, so when we finish with this, I'd like to come back if I may.
Okay, can I answer that? Then you go back to your other topic. Thanks, Mike. That's really realistic and very, very helpful to hear from you. And part of that discount goes to, if people pay for annual package, they will, for the master trainer, you get the 30% off, and for the instructors, they can share that discount code. So they will get yearly subscription in a much cheaper rate, and that would continue once they subscribe it. So we're really trying. As I say, it's so ideal, but still it's still a business. We've got to keep it going, and so we sort of balance both sides. But go ahead, Mike. Your next question.
Okay, this is for Evan and our little subcommittee that did a little bit of work in the background regarding AusActive. Thank you, AusActive. I was just wondering, what is the current process now for us to apply to become members of that organisation? Is there an official position on that at the moment, that master trainers or instructors have some kind of a path to get in there?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so we've been working sort of like in the USA with ACSM. We've been working with AusActive, formerly Fitness Australia. And Mike, thank you, and Trevor for your help getting us over the sort of finish line. We're almost there. AusActive's had, there have been delays, but we're basically almost there to accredit Tai Chi for Health as a fitness Tai Chi foundation education provider. So AusActive is now created a Tai Chi instructor pathway, and we're a fundamental education, foundation education provider for that. We will be within, I think, a month or so. They should be announcing that. There was a plan for us to have a sort of almost a promotion, essentially, by AusActive to kind of bring as many of our instructors currently, including master trainers, into AusActive with like a free year or something of that. So you'll see that coming through soon. So there isn't currently. Dr. Lam is currently the only CEC provider with AusActive and has been for many years. But eventually, through this process, all master trainers in Australia will be able to be CEC providers by providing our workshops. And so that'll be coming soon. We're also working, myself and Pat have been in touch with Jim, and I know Erica has been working as well with the ACSM. So we're working on the USA side, making sure that gets reinstated, that renewed, the ACSM CUs, I think. Anyhow, but Pat and Erica, I just recently read an email that she's been involved with Jim as well. So we're working on that on the American side. I see Hillary's hand.
Hi, yeah, I have two things to comment on. One was, Lorraine, I hear what you're saying, but I have to say that I agree with Mike. I think a year is good. People need to pay for it. In my experience running a business, I find if you give too much away for free, people don't value it. People see more value if they know they've paid for it and they know they've got it for a year, they need to use it. And that's what hopefully will encourage them to then do more, be more involved, etc. I think if you give it away forever, they may look at it for the first couple of months and then it's like, I've got it. And then they don't remain engaged because they don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've only got a year. I need to really make good use of this. And then, of course, we all know that the more we make use of things, especially with Tai Chi, the more we practice. The other question related to AusActive, Evan, I'm just curious. I hear what you're saying, like I'm just a senior trainer, not a master trainer, but would senior trainers, or in fact, even just instructors, well, I shouldn't say just instructors, but even instructors, would they be recognized, TCH instructors, are they recognized through AusActive to be able to instruct classes under an AusActive banner?
Right. That's exactly what we're hoping will be the case. And the very last point that they made as we went back and forth, this is in the weeds now, but was that, how do we ensure that any training that is specific to the AusActive sort of platform, some very specific things that they asked for us to provide as part, how are we going to make sure that everyone who's currently a TCH instructor has those, and we'll provide them with a very short learning module, and that'll be it. And then you'll be able to be an Oz Active member, excuse me. But I
Alright,
don't want to get too in detail with regional things, because I want to make sure that
Yeah.
all of the everything
Sure.
we talk about here. But thanks for the question, Hillary. And
that's great.
Jocelyn.
Yeah, so I hate to beat a dead horse, so to speak, but and I kept thinking, do I say this? Do I not? Everyone else has contributed to this topic, but about the online lessons, you know, there are, I can't even imagine how many emails online lessons gets with questions. Just like, think how often that you use service at TCHI, and you know, someone's getting paid to handle that, I would assume. And so where does that money come from? And it should be, you know, generated within the program. So if we don't pay for it, then where does that come from? So I just think that's, we need to think about our organization and where all this comes from and people's time and effort. And I've been thinking about that actually a lot today, because I have sent so many emails to OLL as I'm trying to get used to the new way of doing things. And if I multiplied mine by the number of people that are, because it's not just instructors, but it's everyone that uses online lessons. So that's a lot of people with a lot of emails that someone has to answer. So there's just always more than we think about.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Yeah, we have amazing staff working on that, and you know them all: Leah, Lori, Fizz in Australia, and of course Dino. Thanks to all of them too. Pat.
Hi, thank you. I'm not in my usual space, and I don't think, I don't think the lighting's very good here. But I wanted to say something on a different topic, if that's okay. I just wanted to let you all know that the Education and Training Committee did meet to discuss the ST update process, which has been under a lot of discussion, as you all know, and it affects everybody here, MTs and STs. Here in America, a lot of STs are coming up to update by June. So I wanted to report we are working on it, but we have not yet set on what will be used. So for now, the tracking sheet was meant to be a reflection piece, to let us pause and think for the ST to say, have I been active in which areas? That requires being aware of what the role of the ST is, and you all know, you all do it so wonderfully, and everybody has their own way of emphasizing different areas, but it's to support the instructors in a regional area and working closely with MTs, with Dr. Lamb, to advance the programs in a different way than actually teaching the instructor training workshop. So some STs are good at organizing, some are great at teaching, some are great at keeping in touch with all the people in their region. Hopefully everybody can do a little bit of all of that. So we're looking at, what do we really expect of the ST? We don't want an ST to feel owned or monopolized necessarily, yet you do need a relationship with an MT who's going to help shepherd you and mentor you to whatever you want your role to be and whatever advancement you want. So we're trying to take all that into consideration and find some other ways besides the tracking sheet, ways for self-reflection and evaluation or assessment, maybe done by yourself. It's all still under discussion. We met a week ago yesterday. So do feel free to email me, feel free to email the other people on the committee, include Libby Hill, Darcy, Hillary. I'm trying to remember the people who were on the meeting this week. There were more, Libby, Darcy, Hillary, and there's more people on the committee, Rosalie, if you have even your own MT, they can get the word to us. But what do you think the update process should be? What would be required other than just knowing the form? Because we know being a senior trainer is not just about teaching the form. It's about advancing the programs and advancing the vision. So that's where we're at with it right now. So for now, still fill out the tracking sheet. It's sort of a summary. And you can add in being at the forum, being on the MTST quarterly chats. These are all indications of being active and involved. So if something isn't specifically listed there, write it in on the back and keep track of your own activities. Thanks.
So as a senior trainer, if I can speak up here, I just spent a whole 2 weeks or more organizing World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. I've done this 2 years in a row now because the master trainer couldn't get the venue he wanted and is not up to doing it. So that was huge. And it went off really well, and other instructors came along with me, including the other senior trainer in the area. That's probably the biggest thing I've ever done. And it was at the Power Over Parkinson's studio. Remember years ago, I was asking you about Parkinson's and how to teach people with Parkinson's. I'm still there. And the last 2 years, they've hosted the workshop and let the public come in. So we're so lucky that they are sharing their space with us and the people in our community to do that. So yeah.
That's wonderful, Liana. And that's an example of how you're active, connecting with the community, educating the community and all the people about the programs and building relationships. That's great.
And we even bring in a Qigong teacher that's local that has also knows about the Tai Chi for Health programs, but that's not her focus. She went toward the Qigong route, and she does a beautiful job at the end sharing her type of Qigong with everybody. It's really gorgeous. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well done, Liana. That's really a good point to bring up, Pat, that eventually anything you do to further the Institute's purpose, that it would be an activity that should be considered. After all, that's what we're here, to empower others. We're here for that purpose. Yeah, well done.
But I just asked a question on the subject of senior training. Can anybody give me any help when we finish a workshop and we normally have some funding available, and we like to offer mentoring. Can anybody offer me any advice? Because I found, we've been doing this for a long time, and I'm finding mentoring the new instructors is pretty challenging because particularly in the last workshop that we ran in November, we offered a 10-week mentorship either via Zoom or to attend our classes, and we had not a lot of interest. It was like pulling teeth. So I'm just wondering if anybody has any ideas on how they do it and how they get people to come to a mentoring, because your instructor doesn't finish as soon as the workshop finishes. That's just the beginning. So you want to be able to help them going forward. But we're finding it very challenging to do that, whether it's the fact that we have a lot of distance in Queensland here, and a lot of our training gets done from people, 400 kilometres away, those sorts of things. So whether distance is an issue, I'm not sure. But can anybody come up with any suggestions or what works for them?
Or maybe it's just that there's an air of arrogance in Queensland, and all our new instructors think they know everything. So, don't know.
Well, I like to suggest maybe Mike did such a good job, they don't think they need follow up.
I'll take that.
Hey, hang on,
And,
Paul.
and if I may say too, they have, by the way, that SIP for 1 year is Mike's idea. And they have the SIP for a year, so they can refer that as well. So we actually might be, because we're doing a great job. But anyway, I'd love to hear other people.
So skill builders is a kind of a function of MT. I invite all the people who take workshops with me. I hold at least quarterly skill builder workshops. Since the pandemic, they're mostly been on Zoom. So that might be a problem if you don't have good internet connection in your area. But when they register for the skill builder, I ask them to share a success that they've experienced with their teaching and a challenge. And that way, when we get together as a group, we can brainstorm. We are inspired by their successes, and we can help brainstorm how to overcome any challenges that they're having. In addition to practicing the stepwise method and the forms that we've been. In addition to the practice, there's also some time to communicate, and that has been very helpful. I think it's been helpful for new instructors to have that dialogue exchange. That might help get some more people in your mentorship program.
I know when I first learned to teach, I went to teaching and just thought, this is great, I'm fine. But all of a sudden I realized that I needed that extra support of going to the master trainer's classes that she was holding every weekend. Because I really was a newbie and, you know, learned it through trying to help people learn. But it's possible that other people, like I have a busy life right now. And so that's why part of why I don't always make it to these MTST, which I love to be here, but I can't always fit it in. And I'm just wondering if that's other people's problems. It's just their lives are so full, they can't fit one more thing in.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for that.
I think this probably leads me to agree now with Lorraine that, or if we give stuff away, it might have been, no, it wasn't Lorraine.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
If we give stuff away, maybe it's undervalued. And I think because we're running or getting funding to run all these projects which incorporate a pre-learning period where we teach them the form and how to teach, and then we do the workshop, and then we offer the mentoring. By the time they get to the mentoring part, even though it's free for a lot of people, maybe it's being undervalued. So I think I'm going to have to increase my prices. charge 3 times more and see what happens.
Okay, that's fantastic. We're sharing ideas. One of the things I think most important in life is relationships, how we relate to people and how we get along with people. And certainly Tai Chi is a good vehicle for us to relate to people. You really have something to say before I close off?
Yeah,
Please,
it was coming back to the whole conversation of valuing ourselves and people valuing what we have to give. And it was a question that came up with the committee that Pat mentioned, where we're looking at the pathways for STs and MTs for recertifying and that whole reflection. And part of the ST's job is these skill building workshops or mentoring the instructors in their local area. And it was a discussion we had as to whether the ST is entitled to charge for such a thing. And Mike, in your case, for you and Denise as MTs, do you charge for those? Is it an add-on service, or is it part of them doing their workshop with you? And it comes back to valuing, and people that get something for nothing. And I will agree with Liana, people lead very busy lives, but somehow, again, it's like you go to the gym, you pay your membership. You know that the more frequently you go to gym, the better the better value you're getting for your money. And the less often you go, the more expensive each session is. And so I think people need to value our time. I think we do offer a professional service, and we too need to survive. We need to eat. We need to clothe our kids and, put food on the table. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I'm not saying we need to charge a fortune, maybe not 3 times as much, Mike, maybe. But yeah, I think that it shows we value ourselves and what we have to offer.
Thank you, Hilary. I love that. And I can share what I believe. As you know, I've been a family physician for about 40 years. And I firmly believe Tai Chi teachers do more benefit to people's health than a family physician. Well, I'm not one anymore, so they can't shower me. But seriously, we do amazing jobs, and it's important to have some ways to show the value. Um, you know, that's Lorraine have something to say.
I think it's gone away now. I lower my hand. I lost the train of thought. It's a very interesting discussion.
Okay, well, we can do that again. Okay, I'm going to close this meeting, and I want to thank you all for coming. And you all know when you email me, you always get a reply from me. If you don't, that is because this anti-spam software eat you up. So I always give you a reply. Sometimes it might take me a few days, but I always answer. And for your participants, your friends, they can always email service at the institute. Then our staff would send them to different people. But of course, you can use my personal email that I will answer you. Evan, do you want to say anything before I close off?
I'll just echo what you said. Thank you for mentioning sending messages to service at TCHI. You might get a message from our newest staff member, who is Matthew Lamb. Dr. Lamb's son has joined our team, and he's doing a great job. Jumped right in, so he's on that email as well as Maria and myself. Thanks, Dr. Lamb. Thank you all for everything you're doing. Thank you.
Right. And before I go to Pat, do you want to say anything?
Just that we are getting ready for the big June workshop, but we're also getting ready for Dr. Lamb's fall tour at last weekend of September, first weekend of October in Ohio and Kansas City, Missouri. So the information's on the website, and we hope you can all make one of those too. I think that's all that I have.
Thanks, Pat. But the
Could I
small
say one more
correction
thing, Doctor?
It's the first and second weekend of October.
Oh, I'm sorry, the first and second weekends of October. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Lamb.
Could I
Sure.
share one more thing,
Leanna,
Dr.
go
Lamb?
ahead. Sure.
I just remembered that our new senior trainer, who's named David Murphy, I don't know how many of you have met him, but he's been working really hard. Last year when we did Tai Chi for arthritis, he got CEU credit for all the people that are in rehab. He figured out how to get that on board. And then this year he took the program Tai Chi for Life and got that to be approved for CEU credits for all his rehab people. He's amazing, Dr. Lamb. So I wanted to let you know that's going on out there, and other people are asking him about it. How did you do that? Yeah. So that just came up as another thing that a senior trainer's doing, that he should definitely get credit for that on his senior training tracker sheet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please, Leanna, send me an email about it and about his email, and I'll talk to Pat and Evan, and we can most likely use his talent to help the rest of the community.
Exactly.
Okay, anybody want to say anything before I say goodbye for the time being? And I'll see you in 3 months' time. I was saying the recording to everybody, even people who didn't attend, because they have good reasons they can't. And right, keep practicing. I look forward to see you soon in USA. Wow, it's very exciting.